If you're over 65, this message could change everything about how you start your day. Stroke rarely comes with a warning. One minute you feel fine, and the next, you can't move your arm, your words come out wrong, or your memory starts slipping away. As a brain doctor who spent over 3 decades treating older adults, I've seen one thing over and over again. Many seniors are unknowingly increasing their stroke risk every single morning, not through extreme or dramatic actions, but through small, everyday habits they don't even think twice about. The truth is, stroke isn't random. It builds over time through silent stress on the brain, especially during the first few hours after waking, the time when your body is most vulnerable and your brain is still catching up. In this video, I'll walk you through the top daily habits quietly raising stroke risk in seniors overnight and share simple changes you can make to protect your brain for years to come. By the end, you'll not only know the warning signs, but also exactly what to do tomorrow morning to protect your memory, your balance, and your independence. Stay with me. What you learn today could make all the difference for tomorrow. Let's start with something that might seem harmless at first: morning dizziness or weakness. It's common for many seniors to wake up feeling a little off. Maybe you feel dizzy, unsteady on your feet, or notice that your hand feels weaker than usual. Sometimes even your speech might seem a little off. You might sit on the edge of the bed, shake it off, and think to yourself, it's just part of getting older. But here's the truth. It's not. And I'm saying this not to scare you, but to help you take action before it's too late. I've seen this scenario play out countless times when seniors ignore those early warning signs, and later it costs them everything. Let me share a story about Mr. Harold James, an 82-year-old retired firefighter from Indiana. Harold was healthy, independent, and loved spending time fishing with his grandson every Saturday evening. One morning, he told his wife that he felt a little off. His left hand wasn't gripping his coffee mug properly, but he thought it was just arthritis or that he slept wrong. He didn't mention the strange feeling in his face, and he didn't call his doctor. He didn't write it down or pay much attention to it. 2 days later, Harold suffered a massive ischemic stroke. His entire left side became paralyzed, and he lost his ability to speak clearly. His days of fishing with his grandson were gone, and so was his independence. He now lives in an assisted care facility, not because he was weak, but because he ignored those early signs. The sad truth is that those minor symptoms, morning dizziness, weakness in an arm, slurred speech, or facial numbness, could be signs of a transient ischemic attack, a TIA, also known as a mini-stroke. A TIA is like a fire alarm for your brain. It may pass quickly, but the danger is just beginning. Studies show that 1 in 3 people who experience a TIA will have a major stroke within a year, most within the first 48 hours. And what's worse, the most common time for these warning signs is early in the morning, when your blood pressure shifts, your blood is more concentrated, and your brain is still adjusting from sleep. This is when your body is most vulnerable. You might think it's harmless, a senior moment, but a senior moment can turn into a life-altering moment if left unchecked. So here's my advice. If you wake up feeling dizzy or off in any way, document it. If your face feels strange, look in the mirror, smile, raise both arms, and speak a sentence. If something feels off, even if it goes away, call your doctor. And if you have a loved one who brushes off these signs, don't let them. The price of waiting is too high. Because once a stroke happens, it's not just your brain that suffers. It's your freedom, mobility, memories, and relationships. What's lost can't always be rebuilt. But
Here's the good news. If you listen to your body's whispers, you can avoid the screams. Treating those small symptoms as big warnings can be the difference between a minor scare and a life-changing event.
Now, let's move on to another critical factor that can increase your stroke risk: skipping or mismanaging your morning medications. If you're taking medication for blood pressure, cholesterol, blood thinning, or heart rhythm, it's essential to understand the role these medications play in protecting your brain. Skipping a dose, taking it late, or even doubling up just this once can be a silent setup for a devastating stroke. I had a patient, Mrs. Evelyn, a 76-year-old retired nurse from rural Georgia. She was sharp as a tack, but living alone since her husband passed. She had high blood pressure for years and managed it well with daily medication. However, sometimes she'd forget a dose and then take 2 the next morning to catch up. One day, after skipping 2 days of her medication, she woke up with a splitting headache and trouble speaking. By the time the paramedics arrived, she was experiencing a hemorrhagic stroke, a brain bleed triggered by a spike in her blood pressure and worsened by doubling her medication. Thankfully, she survived, but she lost her speech for nearly 6 months. This one mistake, a seemingly minor decision, changed her life. And what's even more frightening is that I've seen this happen countless times. Seniors, meaning well, are often unaware of the power and danger of their medications. Morning is the most vulnerable time for your brain. As your body wakes up, your blood pressure naturally begins to rise, preparing for the day ahead. But for older adults, especially those with stiff or narrowed arteries, this natural rise in blood pressure can put a tremendous strain on the brain's blood vessels. That's why medications like blood pressure meds, statins, and blood thinners are often prescribed to be taken early, before your blood pressure gets out of control. But when you forget to take your medications or take them inconsistently, your protection is compromised and your brain is left exposed. What's worse, some seniors take their pills with coffee or without water, which can affect how the medications are absorbed by the body. And some even stop taking their medication altogether because they feel fine for a few days. But stroke doesn't care how you feel today. It cares about how stable your circulation has been over time. Taking your medication incorrectly, whether by skipping a dose or doubling up, can be just as dangerous as not taking it at all. Taking 2 doses to catch up can lower your blood pressure too much, causing dizziness, falls, or even internal bleeding, especially if you're on blood thinners. The bottom line is this: your medication isn't just a daily task, it's your first defense against brain injury. So set a timer, use a pill organizer, and ask your pharmacist to simplify your routine. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Taking your medication correctly every day is your safeguard against stroke and other serious health issues. Let's move on to the next habit that might be silently raising your stroke risk: drinking coffee on an empty stomach. It's a simple morning ritual for many. Wake up, head to the kitchen, and pour that first cup of coffee. It feels comforting, familiar, and even necessary for some to get going. But here's the truth. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach, especially before eating or drinking water, can set off a chain of stress reactions in your body, and the consequences could be greater than you think. Let me share a story about Mr. Charles, a 77-year-old Korean War veteran from Arizona. He had always prided himself on sticking to his routine. "Coffee keeps me sharp," he'd tell me at his first visit. For decades, he drank 2 large cups of coffee every morning, always before breakfast. One morning, after sipping his coffee, he started feeling lightheaded, his heart racing too fast. Minutes later, he collapsed on the floor. What he experienced was a transient ischemic attack, or TIA, or mini-stroke, brought on by a sudden surge in blood pressure and an abnormal heart rhythm. What happens when you drink coffee on an empty stomach? Caffeine is a powerful stimulant. When consumed first thing in the morning, without any food or water, it's absorbed more quickly and hits the body harder. For seniors whose vascular systems are already more fragile, that sudden jolt can cause your heart to beat irregularly, raise your blood pressure too quickly, and starve the brain of oxygen, especially when it's already vulnerable after sleep. Your brain doesn't need shock. It needs steady support. Coffee, when misused, acts like a whip against your already fragile blood vessels, which aren't designed to handle that level of strain. Worse yet, coffee can mask early signs of fatigue, dehydration, or low blood sugar. You might feel energized, but your body is actually in a state of stress, with increased cortisol, a faster heartbeat, and tighter arteries. Over time, this can wear down the protective layers around your heart and brain, especially in those with existing conditions like atrial fibrillation, hypertension, or even mild cognitive impairment. What's important to understand is that stroke doesn't need a dramatic trigger. It only needs the right pressure at the wrong moment. So if you want to protect your brain, here's what I recommend. Start your day with water first. Drink a glass of water before you reach for that cup of coffee. Eat something small, a piece of toast, a boiled egg, or even a banana. Only after that should you sip your coffee. And keep it moderate, 1 cup, no extra sugar or creamer. Your brain is asking for oxygen, hydration, and stability, not caffeine overload. The good news is by simply adjusting this small habit, you can significantly reduce your stroke risk and set a healthier tone for your day. So next time you reach for your morning coffee, take a moment to hydrate first. Your brain will thank you for it. Let's now address another common morning habit that may be quietly contributing to your stroke risk: holding in your morning urine. It may seem like a minor thing, but for seniors, holding off on going to the bathroom when you first wake up can actually have serious consequences. Many of us have a morning routine. Wake up, check the phone, scroll through the news, and put off going to the bathroom until after coffee or breakfast. It's easy to delay it, but for older adults, this small decision can significantly raise your blood pressure, stress your heart, and trigger the conditions that lead to stroke. Take Mrs. Darlene, a 79-year-old widow from Indiana. She had a habit of waking up, checking her emails, and then putting off her bathroom break. She didn't want to feel rushed. One morning, after a poor night of sleep and a second cup of coffee, she stood up and collapsed. She'd suffered a hypertensive crisis that triggered a small stroke. Thankfully, she survived, but her balance was never the same. What she didn't realize, and what no one had told her, was that delaying her morning bathroom break had silently built up pressure in her body, setting off a dangerous chain of events. Here's what happens. When you ignore the urge to urinate, your body interprets a full bladder as internal stress. To compensate, your adrenal glands release cortisol and adrenaline, the same hormones that get activated during a fight or flight situation. These hormones tighten your blood vessels and raise your blood pressure, which for someone over 65, especially if they have heart disease or hypertension, can be catastrophic. The pressure doesn't just stay in your bladder, it builds up throughout your cardiovascular system. Your blood becomes harder to pump, and the arteries in your brain, which are often already stiff or narrowed, feel that pressure first. In some cases, this pressure can lead to a vessel rupturing or a clot forming, ultimately triggering a stroke. What's even worse is that holding in your urine can also disrupt your heart rhythm, triggering atrial fibrillation in some seniors. Atrial fibrillation is an irregular heartbeat that dramatically increases the chance of a blood clot reaching the brain, causing a stroke. What may seem like an innocent habit, putting off your bathroom break for a few minutes, can silently put your brain and heart at risk. So, the next time you wake up and feel the urge to go, don't delay. Don't check your phone.
Don't scroll through your messages and don't wait for your coffee. Just go. It's not about comfort. It's about brain protection. When your bladder speaks, your brain is listening. And if you fail to act, the cost could be far higher than just a few minutes of inconvenience.
Finally, let's address a seemingly harmless habit that could be putting you at a higher risk of stroke: jumping out of bed too quickly. For many seniors, this is just a normal way to start the day. Swing your legs over the side of the bed, stand up, and get moving. But for older adults, especially those with a history of heart disease, low blood pressure, or narrowed arteries, this quick movement can be one of the most dangerous things you can do. After a full night of sleep, your body is in a relaxed state. Your blood pressure is lower, circulation is slower, and your brain has been at rest in a horizontal position for hours. The moment you sit up or stand suddenly, gravity pulls blood away from your brain, and your body has to adjust. In younger, healthy people, this adjustment happens automatically, but in older adults, that adjustment can sometimes fail. The result? A dangerous drop in blood pressure, which is known as orthostatic hypotension. When this happens, you might feel lightheaded, dizzy, or faint, and in some cases, you might even lose your balance and fall. This sudden drop in blood flow to the brain can also lead to a stroke. I've seen it happen many times. One moment, you're standing up to start your day, and the next, you're on the floor, unable to speak. Let me share a story about Mr. Ray, a 74-year-old farmer from Iowa. Ray had spent his whole life waking up before sunrise and always believed in getting straight to work. One morning, he stood up too quickly, took a few steps, and suddenly collapsed. His wife found him lying on the floor, unable to speak. He had suffered a left-sided ischemic stroke, likely triggered by a momentary drop in blood flow to the brain. An MRI revealed multiple tiny infarcts, which indicated that his brain had been struggling with insufficient oxygen even before the fall. That collapse was just the final warning. The good news is that this type of stroke is preventable. If Mr. Ray had simply taken a moment to sit up slowly, wiggle his fingers and toes, and allow his body to adjust before standing, he might have avoided the stroke altogether. It only takes about 90 seconds to give your body time to catch up to your mind. When you wake up in the morning, take a moment. Sit on the edge of the bed for a couple of minutes. Breathe deeply, stretch gently, and allow your body to adjust to being upright. Then, when you're ready, stand slowly. This simple habit could make all the difference in preventing a stroke or fall, giving your body and brain the time they need to recalibrate. In the end, it's not just about avoiding one particular action or habit, it's about taking control of your morning routine and recognizing that how you start your day can set the tone for the rest of your life. Small changes in how you wake up, how you manage your medications, how you drink coffee, and how you listen to your body's signals can reduce your risk of stroke and help protect your health, your independence, and your future. Remember, it's never too late to make changes, and every day you choose wisely can help you live stronger, longer, and with greater peace of mind. Start tomorrow morning with intention and take that first step towards a healthier, safer life. Now that we've covered the main habits that can put your stroke risk at a higher level, let's recap and discuss how you can reshape your morning routine for a stronger, healthier start to your day. 1. Take it slow in the morning. When you wake up, take a moment before rushing into your day. Sit on the edge of your bed, breathe deeply, and let your body adjust. Give your blood pressure time to stabilize and avoid standing up too quickly. This simple action could prevent dizziness, fainting, and potentially a life-threatening stroke. 2. Hydrate first. Before reaching for that cup of coffee, hydrate your body.
Drinking water first thing in the morning is essential to rehydrate after a night's sleep. Coffee is a stimulant, but it can also dehydrate you, which can put unnecessary stress on your heart and brain. Start with water to ensure that your body and mind are properly fueled before you get moving. 3. Take your medications correctly. Consistency is key when it comes to taking your medications. Skipping doses or taking medications late can be a silent risk factor for a stroke. Make it a priority to take your medications on time every day. Set reminders, use a pill organizer, or ask your pharmacist for tips on making your routine easier to follow. A small mistake, like forgetting a dose, could set the stage for a stroke later. 4. Address small symptoms immediately. If you feel dizziness, weakness, or any strange symptoms in the morning, don't ignore them. Even minor issues like slurred speech or facial numbness in the morning could be signs of a transient ischemic attack, or TIA, which can lead to a major stroke if left untreated. Document your symptoms and call your doctor if anything feels off. Early detection is your best defense. 5. Avoid holding in your morning urine. This may seem like a small inconvenience, but holding in your morning urine can raise your blood pressure and put unnecessary stress on your heart. When you feel the urge to go, don't wait. Take care of it right away. This simple habit can help you avoid unnecessary strain on your cardiovascular system and keep you protected from risks that could lead to a stroke. By incorporating these small changes into your morning routine, you can drastically reduce your stroke risk. Remember, stroke doesn't always come with a loud warning. Sometimes it starts with a quiet moment of dizziness or a forgotten pill. By taking proactive steps to protect your brain, you're giving yourself the best chance for a long, healthy, and independent life.
Stroke prevention doesn't have to be complicated. It's all about being aware of your habits, taking action when needed, and setting yourself up for success from the moment you wake up. You have the power to change your routine, improve your health, and safeguard your future. Your mornings matter. Make them count. So, tomorrow morning, when you wake up, take a deep breath, sit up slowly, hydrate, take your medication on time, and listen to your body. Small changes can lead to a big difference in how you live your life. Thank you for joining me today. If you found these tips helpful, please share them with someone who could benefit. Together, let's make each day safer, healthier, and stronger. Stay well and take care of yourself, because you deserve it.